What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. Now, the internet is still buzzing and talking about Ronda Rousey, so I got to talk about Ronda Rousey. And I got the idea from Fox Sports. They released a graphic of Ronda Rousey, and I knew this, but I didn't put it in this perspective because, as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I did the Ego purses. Ronda Rousey got $3 million guaranteed, no win bonus, just for showing up. Win, lose, or draw. Well, obviously, she lost in 48 seconds. And Amanda Nunes got 100K with the option for 100K win bonus if she were to win, which she did. So that's a $200,000 salary to Ronda Rousey's $3 million guaranteed. Plus, based on the proceeds and the revenue generated from the pay-per-view, I believe they're both entitled to some portion of that. I don't know. That amount wasn't disclosed. So we're just going to go off the basic purse. For the $3 million, when you put it in perspective, Ronda Rousey getting destroyed in 48 seconds, that averages out to Ronda Rousey earning $62,500 per second. So there's a ton of memes about Ronda Rousey, but in that regard, she is winning. She got almost $63,000 a second just to be in that octagon. And the thing is this, although that is impressive, it would be more impressive if she won, because even though she got paid and she's balling per second and stuff like that, it was an embarrassing loss. So much to the point we don't know if she can bounce back from that. Bouncing back from one knockout loss can be challenging, but to do two back-to-back losses in the same exact fashion, I don't know. You have to be a really tough, skilled person to overcome that. Like Conor McGregor, can you picture, what if he fought Nate Diaz? He immediately said, hey, I do what I fucking want. And he said, I want to fight Nate Diaz right away, straight away, no tune-up, nothing. And then he got submitted again. That would be super embarrassing because he continued to talk shit. Like, I'll ride through Stockton and all this and that. So it would be very embarrassing to lose in the same fashion. And I've stated my opinion. Some people get mad and some people say, oh, you're being insensitive. I'm being real and I'm being honest. I have no beef with Ronda Rousey. I don't know her, never met her, anything like that. But I think the reason people like Freddie Roach, I made a video about it, Ronda Rousey's mom, I made a video about it, they're urging her to retire is because they see the same things that I see. There's other things in this world that you can do to generate money, especially when you're already on that platform. People already know the name, and there are a lot safer things to do. So if your heart's not in the fighting sports, you got to get out. If your confidence is totally shook, you got to get out, because you're a marked man or a marked woman if you continue to fight and people have it out for you. Because let's say there's another girl, we'll make up a name, Valencia Flores, right? And nobody knows that name at this moment. So even though Ronda Rousey took back-to-back losses, that's a platform for her to springboard her career if she beats Ronda Rousey, because she could still say, yo, I stepped in with Ronda Rousey, who's still a name, even though she's off back-to-back losses. And that's how people look at it, you know what I mean? Because if you look at it, name a female in combat sports whose name is bigger than Ronda Rousey. And you can't even say Amanda Nunes. I'm not talking about skill, who's a better fighter. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about name-wise. Like, I can ask my mom, who watches no boxing, UFC, she doesn't watch none of that. I could ask her who Ronda Rousey is, and she knows of her. If I asked her about, hey, what about Amanda Nunes? What about Miesha Tate? What about Kat Zingano? She's not going to know any of them, right? And that's just the harsh reality. And it was really because the UFC chose so much to promote Ronda Rousey and put that energy into her, and to a degree it backfired, because Chael Sonnen has said what I've been saying to you guys on these videos. Ronda Rousey started to believe in her own hype, and I'm not part of her team, so I can't say she was working less, but it's apparent she started getting ahead of herself. There's an old saying, you're getting too big for your britches. That's what happened to me, to Ronda Rousey. She became kind of like enthralled with all the praise. That's good. Praise is good, but you got to keep going. You know what I mean? I get hate on my channel, but I also get a lot of praise and a lot of people who've been rocking with me and supporting me for a long time now. But you can't let that go to your head. The mission still needs to be completed. I can't be like, oh, look, they like this video. I think I'll just have a mimosa and just take the week off. You can't do that. You got to keep going. You got to keep working. I'm up and at it every single day. You guys see the content. I don't got to tell you. You guys can see. I'm up here working. So you don't, for hate, for positivity, you never slow down. You don't slow down. You always got to keep working, especially if you want to be on top or you're searching to become the top in your industry. And I really think Ronda Rousey, she started to believe that she was this killer, and she went away from the basics. You never go away from the basics, whatever got you here. Look at, like, I like music a lot, as you guys can tell on my channel. So if you look at other musicians, look at when they did stuff, projects or albums that were completely different than what we're used to. Like, I remember, for example, Mariah Carey. At one point in time, she was like, she looked real innocent, and she was like the girl next door type. You know what I mean? Doing songs of Boys to Men and just like doing her shit before the lip sync failures and all that. Back in the day, Mariah, me and Mariah go back like baby the pacifier. That Mariah, the daydream Mariah, right? Girl next door, mom jeans, maybe show a little bit of the midriff. And I don't know what year it was or what happened, but she married that Tommy Mottola dude, and I think she divorced him. And then after, she started doing different types of songs, like more showing her body more and revealing more. So the thing is, you actually might lose some people. Some people are like, oh shit, Mariah's getting naked, hey, cleavage. But other people, you might miss them because they don't know you for that. You know what I mean? Just like when Bow Wows and other artists, all of a sudden they start smoking weed and talking tough and talking gangster shit. You're like, what? That's a little Bow Wow. What do you mean? You man, that's little Bow Wow. Like, you don't look at them like that. And I could think of several examples like that in music where people, Lil Wayne, he did that Rebirth. And I mean, he had a couple cool songs like I'm gonna pick the world up and I'm gonna drop it on his fucking head, young boy. But he did a rock album. People don't know you for a rock album. That's like out of your norm. Stick to what got you here and stick to what you're good at. You skateboard now and you're a skater and young like a rocker. It didn't really. Go look at all of Lil Wayne's album sales. And I guarantee you, I don't even have to pull up the exact numbers, but I guarantee you that Rebirth album sold tragically less than Lil Wayne's better albums, his normal albums that's where he's just spitting like he normally does, like the Carter and the Carter 2 and all that stuff. I guarantee you that album sold a lot less. And that's because in those albums, he was more in his element. So to tie this all in for you guys, when it comes to Ronda Rousey, she went away from what got her there, and that's the judo. She's a boss when it comes to judo. The Betch Correa, the fact that you knocked somebody out, I don't know if it got to your head, I don't know if it got to your coach's head, Edmund, but that was almost a bad thing for Ronda Rousey, because on top of the knockout win, you got a lot of media praise. I remember her face. She looked so juiced. She took the mouthpiece out after she knocked Betch Correa out. Like, oh, I'm not a do nothing bitch. Oh man, you know, Ronda Rousey, really rowdy. You know what I mean? And she was amped. But that doesn't mean the buck stops there. You got to keep working. And like I said, that Betch Correa, based on, there was some trash talking before. Betch Correa was like, I'm going to shut her mouth, and basically try to do what Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes actually accomplished. And there's some bad blood. And I think Betch Correa said some other stuff, like maybe mentioned her father committing suicide, or said she was weak-minded as a champion. Same stuff that Amanda Nunes and other people have said after Ronda Rousey's losses. But that was one of those wins where I think Ronda Rousey was fighting off of adrenaline too. But once you get beyond that particular fight, you got to slow it back up a pace and get back to what you know, right? I've seen it in boxing. I've seen fighters where for a particular fight, there's a lot of intensity. Look at Terrence Crawford versus Hank Lundy. A lot of emotions in the build up to the fight. Even the De'Aaron Jean fight. Terrence Crawford, he started pushing Hank Lundy. They were shit talking. And in those fights, he fought really aggressive early, right? Because he wanted to make a statement. And luckily, he's skilled enough as a boxer where he could switch up. And it looks like he has a solid chin. So he was able to beat those guys even though he's aggressive. But he knew when he fought Victor Postal, a taller guy than him, a guy with a longer reach, a guy who's a proficient, efficient boxer, pure boxer type, right? Technical guy. He couldn't be that aggressive because those mistakes, Postal, with his height and size, could probably capitalize off. So he got back to having a smart game plan, not fighting off emotion in those fights. And you see, it's funny because if you look at the Crawford example, when he fought Hank Lundy and them, people are like, I don't know. Crawford's good, but he gets hit too often. And then what did they say when he fought Victor Postal? He's running. He was too elusive. He wasn't standing his ground enough. You know what I'm saying? Because he can adapt and do the different things. So for Ronda Rousey, she kind of stayed in the Betch Correa mindset. Okay, that's already done. You hated her, or you guys had the bad blood, but she carried that animosity and she carried that energy over and started trying to stand up with way better stand-up fighters, strikers, former boxers, kickboxers, Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. It doesn't make sense to me, you know what I mean? And Amanda Nunes said it post-fight. She's like, oh, Ronda Rousey, she's good judo. I don't know why her coach tells her I'm the real striker, he. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm the striker. You ain't no striker. And she said, I knew what she was going to do. And now it's just embarrassing. So you did get a lot of money per second, but it's just embarrassing. Amanda Nunes is telling you, yeah, she's done. She's done. Hang him up. That's like, I mean, that's insult to injury to me, because not only did you lose in bad fashion and take a second back-to-back knockout loss in your comeback fight, fear the return fight. We're supposed to fear that 48 seconds. But Amanda Nunes, she's actually being natural about it. She's not like, oh, I'm going to be PC, politically correct, and I'm going to say, oh, yeah, she's the champion. Like, she was cool about it. She like, thank her for the opportunity. But she also said some things where how she really felt. Like, yeah, she needs to retire. This ain't her thing. She can't take a punch. These girls can't take my punches. So it's a big climb back. So the 3 million was cool, and it was unfair. It was cool for Ronda Rousey, but it was unfair for Amanda Nunes. You don't do a champion like that. That's justice being served. That's karma, because they should have never lowballed that girl, Amanda Nunes, like that. Ronda Rousey takes a year off. She is the bigger name. She's the A side. Takes a year off a KO loss. Comes back, like, at the bare bones minimum. Dana White, the UFC, they could have gave Ronda Rousey $2.5 million guaranteed. 2.5. That's a sufficient amount, right? You know, Ronda Rousey's doing all these like show endorsements and stuff. Amanda Nunes doesn't have that type of stuff. She's not on the Conan O'Brien show or Ellen show and doing Reebok commercials. You know what I mean? Being on UFC games and shit. So Amanda Nunes doesn't have that. You don't chump that girl out like that. And again, at the bare minimum, they could have gave Ronda 2.5 million, and then that other 500K, add that to her base salary. So she had a cool 600,000 plus $150,000 win bonus. That would be worth it. But Amanda Nunes is a dog. She showed, like, they're lowballing me. I'm getting this little bit amount of money. I'm not going to be a diva. This is more money than I've ever seen, probably. And I'm just going out there to scrap. And that's what she did. And she made a statement. Now, the thing is, for me, is the UFC going to put Amanda Nunes on? Is she going to be in a main event type of situation? She just had 2 emphatic knockout wins plus another win in the year 2016. So I just really hope the UFC doesn't dog Amanda Nunes and be like, oh, you're a lesbian, you don't have the look we're looking for, or whatever their situation is. you don't have the complexion or whatever. And they give her the opportunities that they gave Ronda Rousey, because the women's division, and in fact, Amanda Nunes style-wise has a better style to sell. She may not have the look you want, like where you're, you know what I mean, where you're gonna put her in a Fast 7 or whatever. But she has a more exciting style because she's getting bloody knockouts. Let me know what you guys think. Ronda Rousey gets 62.5K per second in defeat. So definitely balling in defeat. What's next? Do you agree with her mom and Freddie Roach and think she should retire? Drop all that in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.